Demis Hassabis. He gave a talk in the Odeon of Herodes Atticus, with the Greek Prime Minister, talking about artificial intelligence. So Demis runs the DeepMind, Google DeepMind lab. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend checking out the AlphaGo documentary. It is free over on, I guess, the DeepSeek channel. So AlphaGo. Yep, DeepMind. Oops.
That's a really nice quote.
Excuse me. So on the DeepMind channel, they have the whole movie, and it's an hour and a half long, and it's really good. It's about DeepMind, gosh, this was a few years ago, winning the game of Go against Lee Sedol, who is, well, still is, I think, a grandmaster of Go. Was always considered, not always, it used to be chess. It used to be a computer will never beat anyone in chess, and then it did. And that was Kasparov and Deep Blue, the computer which beat Kasparov. So the goalposts got shifted, and this always happens in artificial intelligence to, an AI, a computer will never beat anyone in Go. Go is too complex. So DeepMind and Demis Hassabis, as the head of their team, went ahead and built a new system. I'm just trying to find Demis. He's here somewhere. And there he is. Wow, he's very young looking. Is that him? Yeah, that is him. Went ahead and built this AlphaGo machine and won against Lee Sedol. And yes, this is a documentary about a bunch of engineers building a computer to play a game, but it is a gripping documentary. It's really interesting, especially when they realize the computer's going to win, because initially they're jubilant because all of their work is paid off and what they've built is going to beat a grandmaster in Go. And so they're like, we've spent years doing this and we're going to win, and it's amazing, and all of our hard work is paid off. And that turns very quickly to sadness and almost horror, because a human at the top of their mental game is being beaten by a machine. So even the people who built the machine understand what is happening and understand that, oh God, what have we done? So it's a fascinating documentary. So I highly recommend watching that. So that is totally not related to this. So Google's top AI scientist, so this is Demis Hassabis, says learning how to learn will be next generation's most needed skill. So Athens, a top Google scientist and 2024 Nobel laureate, just a small Nobel Prize on the way, said Friday that the most important skill for the next generation will be learning how to learn. Thank you. To keep pace with change as artificial intelligence transforms education and the workplace. Speaking at an ancient Roman theatre at the foot of the Acropolis, so cool, in Athens, Demis Hassabis, CEO of Google's DeepMind, said rapid technological change demands a new approach to learning and skill development. Preach. Thank you. It's very hard to predict the future. 10 years from now in normal cases. It's even harder today given how fast AI is changing, even week by week, Hassabis told the audience. The only thing you can say for certain is that huge change is coming. The neuroscientist and former chess prodigy, he's quite smart, said artificial general intelligence, AGI, a futuristic vision of machines that are as broadly smart as humans, or at least can do many things as well as humans can, could arrive within a decade. Now, interestingly, this is a very different timeline to what a lot of the other companies are talking about, especially OpenAI, Musk. They're talking about within a couple of years. Remember, they are also drumming up investment, so we have to take that into account. Sam Altman needs to keep beating the drum of AGI in order to keep getting investment, in order to keep growing ChatGPT. Demis Hassabis does not have as many constraints because he's working for Google. And Google, as we've just talked about, have deep pockets. They can fund this development. So he's allowed to have longer timelines on this, and he can talk about those longer timelines. This, he said, will bring dramatic advances and a possible future of radical abundance, despite acknowledged risks. Hassabis emphasized the need for meta skills, such as understanding how to learn and optimizing one's approach to new subjects alongside traditional disciplines like maths, science, and humanities. One thing we'll know for sure is you're going to have to continually learn throughout your career. Unless people... Greek Prime Minister Mitsotakis, joined Hassabis at the Athens event after discussing ways to expand AI use in government services. Mitsotakis warned that the continued growth of huge tech companies could create global financial inequality. Yes, big problem. Unless people actually see benefits, personal benefits to this AI revolution, they will tend to become very skeptical, he said. This is the Prime Minister. And if they see obscene wealth being created within very few companies, this is a recipe for significant social unrest. 100%. So, very cool talk. And Hassabis talking about some very important and I think very real issues. We need to be agile. We do not know what is coming. So people are always asking me like, what should I learn? What skills should I learn? And what's the best degree to do? We don't know. What area should I go into with my work? We don't know. So we need to be flexible because we don't know how AI is going to affect different industries and different areas of knowledge. We just know that a lot of change is happening and it's hard to tell what is going to affect the most. So what you need to be doing is constantly staying on your feet and learning. The one thing that I'm always emphasizing, banging it like a broken drum, is having control of your own income, of your own work, and of your own freedom is increasingly important because we cannot rely on our companies to exist, the companies that we work for. So if you have a 9-to-5 job in what you think is an incredibly cushy company, if that company falls behind because they don't take AI seriously, then you are suddenly out on your ass and you don't have that cushy 9-to-5 job. And this is coming from big companies like the McKinseys of the world, the big banks of the world. They're going to get disrupted. So a lot of people are going to be left holding the bag on that if these companies do not adapt. If you run your own business, if you have some form or portion of your income coming from something that you do yourself, then at least you have flexibility. You have the ability to change depending on what is coming at you. Whereas if you work for an organization, you're waiting to see what they do. And even worse, there are some companies who are deciding now, no, we're not touching AI. And it means that they're not training their staff members in how to use AI, which means those companies are going to go down in the next 5 to 10 years, maybe less. And all the people who are working for those companies are going to be left without the skills that are needed at other companies or without the skills that are required to live in that world that's going to be very AI integrated. You guys, I'm preaching to the choir. If you're watching me, if your social media feed involves people like me talking about AI, you're well ahead of the curve, already ahead of the curve. But what I would recommend as an action is try to start something yourself, some kind of business. It could be consulting, it could be advisory, it could be doing workshops, it could be building a small SaaS using artificial intelligence, software as a service, but try to be ahead of this wave and in control of what's going on for yourself. It doesn't mean quit your job, it just means have something on the side which you are also working on. That right now is probably the safe play. It requires more work, but it's also a time where a lot of opportunity is available because there's a lot of disruption. And if you're an entrepreneur, disruption is good because that means there's a lot of opportunities.